Welcome to Telarus Agent Training, Lesson 3. In this lesson, we are going to learn how to perform research on complex and high-capacity bandwidth solutions using things such as fiber maps, geoscan, multi-location geoscan, and what to do when you think a carrier is in the game and you need pricing. So with that, let's get started. Now, as we've mentioned in previous trainings, all of the real action takes place inside the customer record. So, let's go ahead and drill down into a customer record so that we can see more precisely where all of these cool tools are located. Next to the location phone number, you'll notice 7 very peculiar looking icons. These icons actually represent research tools that we've made available to you. The first research tool is geoscan. More about this later in this very training. Next, we've got a place where you can view the loop information, including the customer's CO. Reverse phone number lookup, reverse address lookup, fiber maps, more about that in this training. A place where you can send this information to a VAR should they need cabling or equipment. And lastly, a United States Postal Service address validator so that you can make sure that this address is in the proper format required by the United States Postal Service, since most of our carriers in GeoQuote do standardize their databases according to the United States Postal Service format. So, now that you know what the buttons mean, let's actually go into a fiber maps. I've created a location record where I know we're going to get a good hit on some fiber maps for demonstration purposes. So, here we are in Los Angeles. To view the fiber map, simply click on the View Fiber Map button, again, next to the customer location information. Instantly, you should see another window pop up that contains all of this information here. This is the custom fiber map. Please allow a few moments for everything to load because some of these maps are actually very highly dense with information and take a few seconds to render. And here at the bottom, you'll see our legend, where you can really tell which carriers correspond to which fiber routes here on this map. You'll see there's different colors. There's black for level 3, purple for AboveNet, and this rust color for XO. Now here on the map, you'll notice several different things. Number 1, the C. The C stands for customer location. And if you ever have any questions on what any of it means, simply click it and you'll see a pop-up location. So again, this is the customer location here at 1139 Longwood Place, Los Angeles, California. You'll see that you can do lots of things here. This is powered by Google Maps, so you can perform a zoom here and see exactly what's going on. Here you have an AboveNet lit building, XO lit building, and an AboveNet fiber route, which really goes right along here. So, when performing research, it might be a good idea to check with probably XO and AboveNet, as well as level 3. As you can tell, there's a black line that goes along here too. So, you've narrowed it down to 3 carriers already, just by a simple click of the fiber map. But the fiber map isn't the only tool in Telarus Town. We've got some others, starting with geoscan, one of our most potent and powerful technologies we've created to date. Simply click this button, and within a few seconds, a new window will open up with geoscan results for you to look at. This is geoscan, a very high-level carrier filtering tool so that you can see exactly which carriers we have that offer services for this exact customer location. It starts off by basically showing you all the carriers that have any product at this location. What you'll need to do next to filter this down into a usable format is to use the product filter here on the right hand side. Say, for example, this customer is looking for gigabit Ethernet. You'll just come over here, use the pull down filter, select gigabit Ethernet, give the page a few seconds to reload, and your carrier options will be drastically narrowed down into 3, which you see here: ACC Business, Level 3, and Time Warner Cable. Now you know not to engage every single carrier that we have. The ACC Level 3 and Time Warner Cable are probably your best bets going forward for this gigabit Ethernet opportunity. Well, that's why we like to call geoscan a carrier disqualification tool. Again, it didn't show us which one to use, but it did show us which ones not to use. And if you have any questions about this at all, your Telarus Channel Manager information is located at the bottom of geoscan on every single scan so that you're never too far away from help. Now, say for example, your customer really likes the idea of ACC business, and you need to get that person a quote. Here is how you do it. First, click on the actual product next to ACC business. Next, you'll see GeoQuote Step 2 for this exact location record. Again, select Gigabit Ethernet, which is what you need. Simply type in a solution request here. And select Continue and proceed. What this will do is create a solution request to your channel manager, again, letting him know that you need help for this 1 gigabit Ethernet solution. Now that you know how to perform research for a single location using the Fiber tool as well as GeoScan, let's go ahead and start looking at complex solutions, meaning multi-sites. I've loaded a custom record here for our convenience so that we can get started. You'll notice that this location record has 8 location records total, but only 3 of them are showing right here. 1, 2, 3. This is to keep your customer record semi-nice and neat, but you can always view all of them by clicking on this button here, and all of them will instantly drop down so that you can see all of the locations that you've loaded into this record. Now, to perform research on all of these 8 locations, all you need to do is come below these 8 locations to the Multi-Loc Carrier Scan tool. This tool will enable you to perform a geoscan, in essence, on all of your locations all at the same time. So, to get started, simply click on the Create button. Next, select the product that you would like to filter by. Of course, you could leave it blank and we can find all of the carriers that offer any service at any of these locations, or you can select something very specific, say for example, business DSL. Then you check each of the locations that you want to include in the scan, or you can just click on Check All and run the multi-location carrier scan here. After a few quick seconds of calculation, and you will have your results here on the Multi-Loc Carrier Scan result page. Here we list the carriers, we list the locations so you can actually see which of the locations got a hit and which ones did not. So these are the matched locations, and there were no unmatched locations here. If you want to see which of the ones qualified and which ones did not, simply click that button. Again, here are the matched locations that qualify for Comcast Business Class, and here is the one that does not. This enables you to get to information extremely fast. Also, we give you the percentage of how many locations were actually covered in using GeoScan, but more critically, the match type. The silly type is actually a very tight filter. It's not exact, but it's very close. The next level up is zip code. A little bit more relaxed, not quite as specific as the silly. And lastly, LATA, which means it's just somewhere in the general area. We're not really sure. So that is the way you can use this tool to really find what you're looking for. So if you need a quote from AT&T, simply click on the carrier that you want, request pricing, and again, you're going into the solution request system, which should sound pretty familiar at this point in the game. We want to impress upon you that the solution request system is really the key to the system. If you ever need anything, especially when it comes to complex solutions, multi-locations, and high-capacity bandwidth options, please use a solution request so that we can get back to you as soon as possible with the carrier quote that you need. Now that concludes this session of the training. Thank you so much for your time. In Lesson 4, we're going to talk about one of our favorite topics, and that is commission. So with that, this is Patrick Oborn, thanking you for your time in completing this training. Thank you very much, and we'll see you in Lesson 4.